Priyanka here. In this video, I am going to discuss about a very important topic of a power electronics, that is a full wave rectifier. I hope all of you are aware about the rectifier, but those who are not aware, I just want to tell them that it's a kind of power electronics converter by which you can convert the AC supply into DC supply. There are a lot of uses of a DC power supply, like if you want to charge the battery of your mobile or a computer, then your dependency is on rectifier. As the available supply at our home is AC, and if you want to convert that into a DC, then we need a circuit which is a rectifier. In this video, I'm going to discuss in detail about the full wave diode based rectifier, its construction, its operation, its waveforms, and the complete analysis related to the full wave rectifier. Now I am sharing my screen, and where I will take you on board and will try to explain. So I'm going to discuss about full wave rectifier, that is diode. Now I will start with its uses or necessity. The first thing I want to tell about it, it's a semiconductor devices based converter which is used to convert AC supply into DC power supply. Now, my dear friends, if I represent the AC power supply, that will be time varying in nature. It will be represented like this. At y-axis, if I represent the supply voltage, and at x-axis, if I represent omega t, so you can see that its magnitude is keep on changing with respect to time. So this is a AC supply representation. Mathematically, you can see it's a sinusoidal function. So mathematically, I can represent this AC supply as a Vm sine omega t. If I want to convert this AC supply into a DC supply, that we can do with the help of rectifier, and if it is a full wave rectifier that converts this AC supply into a DC power supply of like this. This is 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi. This is omega t, and this is VO. So this is a DC power supply. But this DC power supply, as you can see, it's not a pure DC. It's a pulsating DC. What do you mean by pulsating DC? Pulsating DC means whenever the DC supply is having some AC component, then it is called as an pulsating DC. If you want to convert that pulsating DC into a pure DC, you can pass this pulsating DC through filter circuit. Then I'm going to get, or we are going to get, the pure DC. So this is the pure DC. So means after passing the pulsating DC through filter circuit, we can convert that pulsating DC into a pure DC. Now the next thing which I'm going to discuss about, that's a power circuit diagram. Power circuit diagram. Dear friends, full wave rectifier is available in two topologies, means two kind of circuits are available. One is called as a midpoint full wave rectifier, and the second one is called as an bridge type full wave rectifier. In this video, I am going to discuss about only the full wave rectifier bridge type. Midpoint full wave rectifier you can see in my next video. So let us discuss about the power circuit diagram of an bridge type full wave rectifier. So I'm making the diagram for bridge type full wave rectifier. So if I talk the power circuit diagram of this, there it is made up of 4 diodes which are connected in 2 legs. 2 diodes makes 1 leg, and here we will give a AC supply. Suppose this is D1, this is D3, this is D2, this is D4, and this is a supply voltage Vs, which we represent by Vm sine omega t. So this is the power circuit diagram of an bridge type full wave rectifier, where the AC supply is connected to the bridge circuit, which consists of an 4 diodes, and this is the load. Now the next thing is its operation. When we talk about its operation, its complete operation we can represent in two halves. First, its operation in positive half cycle. As we know that the AC supply is alternative in nature. For a half cycle it is having positive, and half cycle it is having negative. 0 to pi it is having the positive cycle, and pi to 2 pi it is having the negative cycle. So let us redraw its circuit diagram. What will happen when the positive AC supply is connected to the full wave bridge type rectifier? So you can see that the diodes are connected like this. Here it is a load. This is D1, this is D3, diode D2, and this is diode D4. And here the AC supply is connected, and assume that during positive half cycle, the upper terminal of a AC supply is positive, and this AC supply I can represent by Vm sine omega t. So when the upper terminal of the supply is positive, you can see that the diode D1 and D2 will be forward bias, and D3, D4 will be reverse bias. So during positive half cycle, if I draw its equivalent circuit, then the D1 will be act as a short circuit, D4 will be act as an open circuit, D3 will also be an open circuit, and D2 will be also act as a short circuit. Because during positive cycle, D1 and D2 are forward bias, so it will act as a short circuit, and D3 and D4 will be act as an open circuit because they are reverse bias. Under the condition, the voltage across the load, that will be represented by an output voltage, and you can see here through this D1 short circuit, the positive terminal of the supply voltage is appearing to the top terminal of a load, and the negative terminal of a supply voltage through this D2 short circuit is appearing to the lower terminal of the load. So you can see that through D1, D2 short circuit, the supply voltage is directly connected to the load. So the output voltage will be equal to the supply voltage with upper terminal positive and lower terminal negative. Now let us talk about the next half cycle, that is negative half cycle. In negative half cycle, which exists from pi to 2 pi, let us redraw the power circuit diagram under this condition. What will happen? So the circuit diagram will be like this. This is D1, this is D4, this is D3, and this one is D2. Here it will be load, and the supply is connected like this. Now under the negative half cycle, lower terminal will be positive. So what will happen due to this lower terminal positive? Now D3, D4 will be forward bias, and D1, D2 will be reverse bias. So D1 and D2 now will act as an open circuit, and D3, D4 will now act as a short circuit. So D3 will also be short circuit, and D2 is now open circuit. That kind of supply is connected with the lower terminal positive, and you can see this kind of load is there. Now you can see as the lower terminal is positive, this positive through this D3 short circuit is again appearing to the top of the load, and the negative terminal of a supply through D4 short circuit is again appearing to the lower terminal of the load. So under the condition also, the supply voltage is appearing to the load provided by the short circuit of D3 and D4, and you can see that in this negative cycle also, the polarity which is appearing to the load, that is not changing. Again it is coming with a positive terminal load at the top side and negative terminal of the load at the lower side. Let's see the waveform of a full wave rectifier. If I draw the waveform for a supply voltage of a full wave rectifier, as you know that the input voltage for a full wave rectifier is a AC voltage that is sinusoidal in nature. So that is Vs 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, and so on. Now my dear friends, if I draw the load voltage waveform, that is the output voltage waveform, with the help of full wave rectifier, which I represent by V naught, that will be a rectified output, and we will get such kind of output. You can see that between 0 to pi, we will get the positive half cycle. Between pi to 2 pi also, we are going to get the positive cycle. This between 0 to pi, the positive cycle is because of the conduction D1, D2, and between pi to 2 pi, it is because of conduction of D3 and D4, and then again D1 and D2. Now at x-axis it is omega t, at here also at x-axis omega t. Now my dear friends, if I plot the load current, if the connected load is resistive, we know in case of resistance, voltage and current both are in same phase. So we will get exactly the similar wave shape. The only difference is if the supply voltage peak is Vm, then the output voltage peak is also Vm, but the load current P will be Vm by R. So these are the waveforms related to an full wave rectifier. Now we are going to the next thing, that is analysis of full wave rectifier. So when I talk about an analysis, we are going to see the average load current for full wave rectifier represented by IDC. The next part of analysis that we are going to see, that is root mean square value of load current for full wave rectifier that we represent by IRMS. Now the third thing that we are interested as an analysis, that is load voltage average value of full wave rectifier, that is VDC. Now the fourth thing which we are interested, that is rectifier efficiency. We are going to calculate the rectifier efficiency as well. Now the fifth thing is, that is ripple factor. And the last parameter which we are interested in, that is transformer utilization factor. Transformer utilization factor. Now let us start with the first parameter, that is average value of an load current. Average value of load current. Now my dear friends, as you know, the load current waveform that we get with the help of full wave rectifier, it was like this. So this is 0, this is pi, this is 2 pi, and the peak of this was Im, which we were writing as an Vm by R. So as we know that always the average value we calculate by an expression of 1 by time period, that is the analytical way of calculating the average value for any periodic function, integration from 0 to time period, function value and dt. So for this particular waveform, I am going to calculate the average value. What is the time period? Pi, integration 0 to pi. I can write the function as it is a sinusoidal waveform. So I can write Im sine omega t between 0 to pi, it's a sinusoidal function, so I can write like this. Now, if I integrate it, Im I can take outside from the integration, and it will be 0 to pi sine omega t d omega t. If I integrate it, I will get Im by pi, then sine omega t ka integration is minus cos omega t, and limits are from 0 to pi. So what I am going to get? So finally, the value will be Im upon pi. If I put upper limit, that is minus cos pi, and 1 minus sign is of lower limit, and 1 minus sign is of minus cos omega t, so it will give plus, and with lower limit, so cos 0. So what I am going to get? Im upon pi. What is minus cos pi? That is minus 1, and 1 minus is already with minus cos pi, so it will be plus 1, and cos 0 is also 1, so the value will be 2 Im upon pi. So finally, the average value of a full wave rectifier, average value of a load current for a full wave rectifier, that is 2 Im by pi. So this is the first parameter which we have calculated for a full wave rectifier. Now the next parameter which I am interested in, that is root mean square value of load current, that we represent by IRMS. IRMS, you know that how to calculate the RMS value, analytical way of calculating the RMS value, that is 1 under root 1 by time period integration 0 to time period function square t tt. This is the mathematical expression by which we can calculate the RMS value. Now for a particular load current waveform, as you know that the time period is pi, so 0 to pi f of ft को I can write Im square sine square omega t d omega t. So this is how we are going to calculate the RMS value. Now, if I further solve it, I can take 1 by pi outside under root, that I can write it as 1 upon root pi. And Im also I can take before under root, so that will be Im square will be converted into Im. Now, under root 0 to pi sine square omega t d omega t. This can be further written as Im by root pi. Now, under root integration 0 to pi sine square omega t ko I can write 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2 d omega t. This is how we can write. So finally, I am going to get Im by root pi under root 1 by 2 ka integration is 1 by 2 omega t, and limits from 0 to pi. And sine cos 2 omega t ka integration is sine 2 omega t by 2, and 1 2 is already there, and again the limits are from 0 to pi. So if you finally solve it, what I am going to get? Im by root pi. Now under root, if I put the higher limit, that is 1 by 2 pi. If I put the lower limit, so 1 by 2 into 0, that will be finally 0. Now minus sine 2 pi by 4, that is with upper limit, and 1 minus sign is already there. 1 minus sign is of lower limit, so it will be sine 0 by 4. Now sine 0 is 0, sine 2 pi is 0. So both term, this term and this term, both will be 0. So what I am going to get? Im by root pi under root pi by under root 2. So root pi cancel. I am going to get Im by root 2. So what is the RMS value of load current in case of full wave rectifier? That is IRMS is equal to Im by root 2. So that is the second parameter which we were interested in. Now the third thing which we are interested in, average value of load voltage, that is VDC. So VDC, that we can write it as IDC into RL. Now we know what is IDC. IDC we have already calculated 2Im upon pi into RL. Now Im I can write as Vm upon Rs plus 2Rf plus RL. Now what is Rs, Rf, RL? Rs is nothing but transformer secondary winding resistance. Secondary winding resistance. Why this is coming into picture? Because normally to charge the battery of a mobile or a computer, we want a 9 volt or 6 volt DC, and the available AC supply is a 220 volt AC. So first we are supposed to convert that 220 volt AC into a 6 or 9 volt AC, and then we will rectify it. So always the rectifier circuit is connected to the secondary of a step down transformer. So that's why the secondary winding resistance will also comes into picture. What is RF? RF is forward bias resistance of a diode. Normally, for the ideal point of view, we consider that whenever the diode is forward biased, it offers zero resistance. But practically, it's not possible. It is offering the very low value of resistance. So here we are supposed to consider that RF also. You can see that I have added 2 RF. Why 2 RF? Because whenever the supply is connected to the load, two diodes are coming into picture. That's why we have to multiply this forward bias resistance with the two by the number of 2. Now what is RL? RL is nothing but it's a load resistance. Basically, the value of this RS plus 2 RF, it is much less than RL. So what I can write, so VDC I can write it as 2 Vm upon pi into RL. So RL se RL cancel, I am going to get 2 Vm upon pi. So VDC is equal to 2 Vm upon pi. This is the next parameter which we were interested in. Now the fourth parameter is rectifier efficiency, eta full wave. It is equal to DC output power divided by AC input power. Now DC output power I can write it as VDC into IDC, or this I can write it as VRMS into IRMS. VDC ko I can write it as IDC into RL into IDC, and here also I can write it as IRMS RL into IRMS. So finally I can get IDC square into RL upon IRMS square into RL. RL se RL cancel. IDC is 2Im upon pi ka whole square divide by Im by root 2 ka whole square. So what I am going to get? That is 8 upon pi square. If you solve it, it will be 0.81. So if you calculate the efficiency, it will, if you calculate it is in percentage, it will be 81%. Basically, it will come 812. So if you calculate it, it will be 81.2%. Now the next parameter is ripple factor. Now what is ripple factor? Ripple factor is basically, it is the ratio of RMS value of AC component divided by average value of DC component. So we know that the RMS value of load current, it is having the DC component as well as it is having the AC component RMS also. So if I am going to calculate IAC RMS, that is equal to IRMS square minus IDC square under root. So if I put this IAC RMS in the formula of ripple factor, what I am going to get, ripple factor is equal to under root I RMS by ITC ka whole square minus 1. If I put the value, I RMS for a full wave rectifier is Im by root 2, IDC is 2 Im upon pi, iska whole square minus 1. So what I am going to get, I am going to get, finally if I solve it, what I am going to pi square under root pi square by 8 minus 1. So if you solve it, it will give the value of pi square by 8 minus 1 कितना होगा under root pi square by 8 0.23 का under root निकल 0. If this solve it, it will come 0.48. So that is the ripple factor. Now the next parameter, that is the last parameter, that is transformer utilization factor. It is represented by TUF, and this is equal to power delivered to load divided by secondary rating of transformer. Power delivered to the load is VDC into IDC, and secondary winding rating of a transformer is VRMS IRMS. Now VDC I can write to VM upon pi. IDC I can write to IM upon pi. Now what is the VRMS of supply voltage? VM by root 2. What is the RMS IRMS of a current? That is IM by root 2. If I solve it, what I am going to get, that is 2, that is 8 by pi square. So if I solve it, so it is coming 0.81. So that is the transformer utilization factor. So I hope I have cleared all the points related to the full wave rectifier. Now I am stop sharing my screen. My dear friends, whatever information I have shared in this video related to the full wave rectifier and its analysis will be useful for you. If you like this video, kindly press the like button, and if you feel that whenever I make such kind of videos, a notification should reach to you, then don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.